Yeah, Demarcus Robinson, I think a lot of us share that game day mood today, dancing right into kickoff just over 5 hours from now. It's the Chiefs, the defending champs, hosting the Texans from Arrowhead. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by EA Sports, Madden NFL 21. Rhett Lewis, David Carr, Maurice Jones-Drew. Now our pleasure to be joined by the Hall of Famer, the Chief, Will Shields. 12 consecutive Pro Bowl seasons there on the offensive line for Kansas City. Will, so glad to have you with us.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So look, you came into the league in 1993 with a pretty good set of skill players there with you, right? With Joe Montana, Marcus Allen. That was a pretty nice way to come into the league, am I right?
It wasn't bad at all. Got a chance to learn from some of the best and be around them. It was exciting. I mean, that was one of those things of, you could come in and be under the radar and learn from guys that were really good. And so it was a lot of fun being around those guys. I mean, just watching how they worked. And so they sort of set the tone for the rest of us.
So, Will, I asked that to ask this, really, because taking a look at those kind of playmakers and the playmakers that this 2020 Chiefs team, the defending champs, will trot out onto the field tonight, how do you compare them?
It's tough to compare. Different eras, different styles, different things. But, you still have that, Joe Montana-esque with the with Patrick Mahomes. He was a gunslinger. He could throw it different ways and different things he would do in practice. You couldn't believe he would do it in the game. And I've heard the same things about Patrick Mahomes. They were like, oh, you got to see this kid. You got to see what he can do. I can't say kid anymore. He's the MVP of the Super Bowl. So right. He's more than a kid. He's a young man that's now making it happen. So I'm excited about seeing what they can do. I mean, it's fun to watch because you never know where the next score is going to come from.
So, Will, I had the unfortunate blessing of being in the AFC with you guys in 2003. You're Kansas City, and then the Indianapolis Colts are in our division, and you guys played a divisional game. It doesn't go your way, but there are no punts in the game. Like, I'm looking forward to this game tonight, thinking this is possibly the same type of scenario. So when you look back in that 2003-ish era with the Chiefs, how does that compare to the offense that you see trotting out there right now?
Well, I think it's similar. It's one of those things that every time they touch the field, they sort of say, we can score. We can put points on the board. And it's one of those things that's scary to know what kind of guys you have around you, that any guy at any given time can break the game open and you can score on any time. So I think it's going to be fun, especially tonight, to see what happens having such dynamic offenses on both sides of the ball. It might be that point of, the first defense that gets a stop makes a big difference in the game. Yeah. But I think that's what's going to be a lot of fun about it.
Yeah, Will, in that same season, Priest Holmes broke the touchdown record. You blocked for him there. What was that like? And then do you notice any similarities from Priest Holmes to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's now our only first-round running back in the draft? I'm sorry.
I'm excited about it. I think when you get a guy that's dynamic and you're trying to see how he fits, you want to see how he fits into everything. And of course, they're saying, hey, it's a bigger league. There's faster, bigger, stronger. But it still comes down. It's football. He's been playing football for a long time, and watching him play at a high level, you expect to see big things from him. But the greatest thing about it is that he doesn't have to be the man. And that's what makes it really cool. He can work his way into it. But I think it's going to be pretty cool to watch what he does and the space he gets just because of the other weapons that he has around him.
And Will, obviously that one of the many playmakers that the Chiefs obviously can flaunt, and one that they will rely on throughout this season, one that will see them as the defending champs, target on their back the whole way around. What do you see as the biggest obstacle to repeating as Super Bowl champs for these Chiefs?
I think it's a challenge. The one thing they have to do is challenge each other every week to get better. Make sure that, you don't rest on what you've done and what you've accomplished. They've already said and set out goals that are lofty. So now you got to hold yourself accountable for it. And as long as they keep each other intact, I think it'll be, one of those seasons they can go and fight their way through anything that goes through and happens. But, win, loss, or draw, they've sort of said it as, hey, they want to go Super Bowl or bust. And it's not just getting there, it's actually winning it. And they know that feeling. And they have a pretty strong, showing with, having over 20 guys that are coming back that knows what it feels like to put those rings on and be a part of it. So hopefully they just keep pushing each other to try to get to that next level.
Will, being a Pro Bowl player and then being the leader in a locker room, this season is gonna demand a lot from guys to stay focused on what's happening from a lot of different avenues. So how do you, when you look at this season, what do you see as the biggest challenge for teams going forward? Not just the Chiefs, but any team, whether it be the virus or the social injustice. Like, what do you see as the biggest hurdle that teams are going to have to work through?
Well, I think all of it's going to be very difficult. The simple fact of not knowing if you're going to have a lot of fans in it, and taking care of your family, making sure everybody is safe, but being able to sort of, when you step on the field, push that aside and understand that you're there for that time, or that 3 hour, 4 hour, whatever it takes to get that victory and to move on to the next level, because that's your job. That's what you have to do. And I think that's going to be hard for any team, because there is so many things outside coming in. To be able to refocus week in and week out, I think that's going to be a bigger toll. But also, without having fans in the stands, you will have those guys on the field that you're going to have to deal with on a different kind of level, as far as listening to them jab and talk and understand. That's going to be the one thing. There is no filters now. Everybody can hear almost anything that's going on. And so now you've got to deal with it mentally of, okay, I know he's going to try to get into my brain a little bit. How do I keep my focus, keep my cool, and keep doing what I have to do, play in and play out?
Well, we all know how hard it is to try to repeat winning Super Bowls, but we have to ask, do you think the Chiefs, with all the guys that have come back and all the new additions, do you think they can go back and be back-to-back Super Bowl champions?
Well, I think any team that has the talent they have has the opportunity to be back-to-back champions. But there's still those bumps in the road. There's been teams that have been loaded before that's gotten close but didn't finish. And I think that's the key to the point of pushing ourselves through, or pushing themselves through week in and week out, to make themselves better and not worry about what everyone else is thinking, doing, or saying. And as long as they hold the course going forward and believe in what they can do, yeah, I think they have an opportunity to pull off, a back-to-back Super Bowl. It's one of those things that's rare and tough to do. I think they were saying there's only like 4 or 5, teams that's actually even gotten close to that or done that. So, that's one of those things that you have to look at and go, yeah, it's a rarity. It can be done. And then say, why not this team? Why not us? And as long as you have that mentality, you can always push forward.
Well, no question. The Chiefs have the talent. They have the core skilled players. They have the offensive line, Will Shields, that I'm sure that has made you proud the last couple of years, and will do so again tonight. But the challenge, a stiff one that begins tonight with the Houston Texans. Will, thanks so much for your time here with us. We appreciate you. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, let's keep it moving here on NFL Game Day Kickoff. How about Deshaun Watson? What play will he make tonight that makes us go, oh my goodness, he's up to his old tricks once again? We'll have that for you here. And talking about season openers, only one guy on this show knows what it's like to have a franchise opener. That's David Carr for the Houston Texans. We'll have a fun little bit of story time as David goes back in time right after this.